The new year will bring increased scrutiny for Supreme Court Chief Justice John Roberts. He will preside over the president's impeachment trial in the Senate. Tonight, correspondent David Spunt on what else the High Court will handle in 2020.
The House will be in order.
Just hours after Democrats launched their impeachment inquiry into President Trump this fall, Chief Justice John Roberts seemed to anticipate the partisan storm headed his way, telling an audience his court was being dragged into a, quote, polarized political environment.
You name it, immigration, executive power, gun control. I suspect it's not a role the court is actively looking for, but it seems inevitable that they're again going to be drawn into these political controversies.
Like it or not, the 9 justices know their hot-button docket will be closely watched from a partisan perspective, especially in a presidential election year. Among the cases they will decide in the coming months, abortion and a restrictive Louisiana law on who can perform the procedure at local clinics, immigration, and the administration's plans to end the so-called DACA program for young undocumented immigrants, civil rights protections for LGBTQ workers, and whether employers can be sued for job discrimination, and President Trump's efforts to shield his banking and financial records from congressional committees.
The court will be an issue in 2020, but that's perfectly normal. It was a huge issue in 2016. It helped get President Trump elected. The conservative voters said, we want to be able to pick the next justice, and they really vote that issue.
Chief Justice Roberts is set to play a major role, the man in the center, literally and figuratively. He is a conservative jurist, but has voted with his more liberal colleagues to put some of President Trump's policies on hold.
We do have to be above or apart from the criticism because we, of course, make unpopular decisions.
The first among equals could prove the equalizer, the swing or the deciding vote in pending appeals. Religious liberty and whether certain businesses can deny their artistic services to LGBTQ customers, and congressional subpoenas for top Trump aides, a prelude to perhaps another round of impeachment articles against the president. Progressive groups like the ACLU have been aggressive in taking the administration to court.
We've been very busy fighting back, but that's because, in our view, the Trump administration has violated constitutional law in so many fields, and for the most part, the courts have agreed with us.
Who sits on the bench will also be an election year focus. The senior Associate Justice Clarence Thomas has already dismissed suggestions that he will step down anytime soon. And the court's oldest member, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, despite recent health scares including cancer, the flu, and fractured ribs, is also determined to stay put.
How am I feeling? Well, first, this audience can see that I am alive.
The justices will get back to work with oral arguments resuming in 2 weeks. Then it's a race to the finish, with some of the most contentious decisions coming at the end of June in the middle of the election race.